Very good afternoon to everybody. And I've got to say, on this beautiful day, in terms of sunshine, and this has come straight from Mark. I was here on Monday, and he brought us the rain, and today he's brought us the sunshine. That's just typical Mark. Welcome to this memorial service for Mark. My name is Graham. I'm Joan's eldest brother, and thank you, Joe, for asking me to preside over today. I'm overwhelmed with emotion, but I'm honoured and privileged to be asked to do this. Thank you, sis. I hope I don't mess it up. I've got to say, this is exactly what Mark would have wanted. Family and friends. No stuffy church walls, but God's amphitheatre. Mountains and seas and rivers, lakes and forests. That's exactly what Mark is all about. And I heard Joe and Mark's farm is called Emerembe. And you may have known this, but it's called Peace in the Storm. And I just think that's just so appropriate. Before we start, we pay a tribute to the wonderful life of Mark. Can you please bow our heads in silence, and I'll open us in prayer. Heavenly Father, we acknowledge your presence here, and we come before you this afternoon as friends and family of Mark Fagan. We are grieving over the unexpected loss of my brother, friend, father, son, uncle, and husband. We are here because we love Mark, and we miss him desperately. And we want to cherish our memories of him. We want to honor his life. And we want to support one another as we grieve his passing. But a passing from life here with us to life everlasting. Thank you for Mark. You formed him. You knew him. You walked with him on these beautiful farmlands. And even now we have confidence that he is in your presence. Thank you that you are a God of mercy who promises to comfort us, particularly when we lose our loved ones. And so in these moments now and in the weeks and the months ahead, please bring comfort to us as we remember and share fondly all that Mark was to us. I ask this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Cool. Hey everyone, I am Mark's son, Wade. I'm just going to go through the acknowledgements in a moment. I just would like to thank all the to thank all the family and friends from traveling far to get here. We have family from Durban, from England, from friends from Johannesburg, Mark's family from Durban. As we originated from Durban, we have a lot of friends from there as well. Friends and family that travel from England and America. We really have received a lot of condolences and that from around the world. We want to thank Tony and Susan for the work done here at Circle T Ranch and allowing us to host the memorial here. As Graham had said, this is the perfect setting that you would like. I would like to thank the Klein Dussenberg community around here for the support shown to Mark's family. I would just like to ask that we carry on with this increased security that we have at the moment in the last week that's been shown. I'd like to thank everyone else who has taken the time to send messages and condolences to the family and offered help and assistance in these difficult times. And that I ask that it doesn't just stop here, that we can all stick together as a family and as we move forward. We would like to start with the tributes here, and I'm going to call up Graham for the first tribute.
What's really important today is for us all to have the opportunity to pay our respects and our tributes to Mark. Joanne really wants this to be a time for anyone to come up and to pay a tribute in their own words to Mark. Don't worry, later on I'll open that for anyone who, friends or family who want to just come and say something simple. It can be simply, I love you, Mark. Keep it under maybe 2 minutes. Before I ask a few people who have already prepared a few words to say, I just want to say a few of my own. I've read this through 2 or 3 times, and each time, yeah, it has been hard for me. It's brought me to tears, so please bear with me. I'll try and hold it together. I first met Mark in February 2004, not that long ago. He had not been long married to my sister Jo. And I do remember meeting him on one of your lovely beaches here in Cape Town. I can't remember which one, Llandudno, I'm not sure. And I just flown over from the UK. Remember, this was February, and we just come out a nice long, horrible, let me say nice, a horrible, long, cold winter, and I looked very pale white. And I remember feeling very intimidated when I met Mark. I stood on the beach with my sister. I can't remember how long they'd been married. And then she said, there comes Mark, and I turned to my left. And there was this tall, dark, handsome chap. I was intimidated. But as soon as I touched him, as soon as I shook his hands, I instantly liked him. And straight away I knew, Joe, you find yourself a keeper. What an amazing guy. He has a magnetism about him that makes you feel like you are the most important person to him. I've spoken to many blokes this week, and they all say to me, I'm his best friend. And that's exactly how Mark is. He treats you like you, each individual is like his best friend. Living in the UK meant I had not much time, actually, to see Mark and my sister. And I think between 2004 and now, we've probably come to Cape Town 3, maybe 4 times. But I never regarded Mark as my brother-in-law. He was my brother. I love this man very, very much. 2 months ago, my wife and 2 kids, we flew out to America and had a time to go and celebrate our younger brother's wedding. And Mark and Joe came over with us. Well, we met them there. We had such an amazing time with Joe and Mark. And I have to say, those memories are the most precious memories I have of anyone. It was a very special 2 weeks. Mark made such an impact on my family's lives when we travelled together with both my sons, Brad and Gareth, and my wife Lorraine, feeling just so connected to Mark. And I know that Lorraine loves him and absolutely adores him. If you can just please allow me to just point out 3 things, or 3 characteristics about Mark, which I feel have a similarity to Jesus. Firstly, just like Jesus loved to fish and spend time with fishermen, Mark, as you know, was in his element and at peace when fishing. I'm just so sad I never got an opportunity to fish with him. And I can see him up there now, casting a line with his creator. He's at Heaven's Lake, and they're discussing the size of the carp and telling each other stories, and maybe even sharing a small whiskey. He is in a good place now. And secondly, just as Jesus also said, let the children come to me. So we all know how much children adored Mark and how much he loved them. Children were drawn to Mark like a moth to a flame. An example of this was this petting zoo. His whole working life was dedicated to helping children get over their fears, allowing kids to experience the wonders of animals and nature. If I'm right, I think Wade or Amy, I'm not sure, may read out some of the thank you letters from some of these kids who've been really impacted. And I've read them and I can't help myself. So here's a small excerpt just from one of them. Sorry, I'm just stolen one here. Dear Farmer Mark, I think it's known as Farmer Mark all around the place. I love all the things at the farm. It was cool. Some of the animals were not so cool. I was not so brave. You did show me something. You show me to be brave. You are strong. Oh, and the animals are nice too. And I was thinking, the helpers were so kind as well. And that's from a young child, Tony Lee. Thank you. So 3 things. And the third one is just as Jesus said and laid down his life for others. Yeah, so Mark didn't think twice to put his own life on the line, to save his wife, his daughter and their friends. And that was typical Mark, putting others first. But Joe, just remember this, greater love has no man than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. There's no greater love than what Mark has shown, no greater love. Mark saved his family last week, and I've just learned a couple of days ago, in fact he even saved a life in his death by being a perfect match for a bone marrow donor. He's actually my hero. I love him and I'm going to miss him terribly, but he cannot escape my heart, for he's going to be there forever. I'm just going to hand over back to Wade, and there's a few more people afterwards for some tributes.
I lay for hours tossing and turning, trying to think how I could summarize the giant to a man and a father in a single page. I realized that it was not possible, and that I would need books and books to write about how a man not only changed my family's life for the better, but how he also impacted everyone around him. Mark lived a free and humble life, who would welcome and accept anyone no matter their status. His warm, charismatic, fun and loving nature would affect all on his path. I cannot tell you how many calls and emails and messages we have received as a family about the immense impact Mark has had on them. He even founded a petting zoo company just to make children and adults happy. Mark changed the lives of children and adults from poorer communities, many with disabilities, using animals as a source of happiness and healing for them. Mark may have been my stepfather, but that's not the way he saw my sister Amy and I. He accepted us as his own and even proposed to my mom 16 years ago, saying he wants to be part of all of our lives and loved us kids as his own. My mom was truly at her happiest with Mark, and I know he loved his family more than life itself. My mom and Mark always had a vision to put us kids through the best school and see us graduate and build an amazing home for our family and friends, which they succeeded. To Mark's parents, Joy and Terry, and his brother Paul, all I can say is you were instrumental in making Mark the husband, lover, carer, and person that he was. You raised a gentle giant who would go to the ends of earth to love and protect his family and friends, and even his fellow neighbor. Mark always believed in others more than they believed in themselves, and never said negative things about anyone. Mark loved to live in the moment and was happy to try spontaneous and adventurous activities with the family. Mark had many friends, all who will state that Mark was their best friend, mainly because he was able to make anyone laugh, and through his presence you would feel immense love and joy. To my little sister Jamie, You may not have had a daddy for a long time, but know he loved you more than anything and anyone in the world. He told me this in person and said that he was so proud of you and excited to see you grow up day by day. Believe me, when he will be watching from above and still in your heart when you need to talk with him. Daddy brought our family closer, and that's how I know we'll all get through this together. Mark gave his life to 9 girls, my mother and sister Jamie, the night of the 14th of October. For that, I will be truly grateful. I have so many awesome memories of the time we spent together as a family. I can't believe you are gone, Dad. Our family has lost the most incredible father, friend, lover, and protector. Your amazing energy, love, courage, and will for life will always be remembered. You loved and cared for us unconditionally and provided and protected the families right until the end. You have been taken far too soon, but have given yourself so that others can live on. My heart has a hole so deep, I don't think it will be the same again. I will hang on to everything you've taught me as your son, and how you've prepared me for the big world. I have huge shoes to fill, but one day we'll meet again, and I will try and make you proud. I will love and protect our family as the man of the house you taught me to be. I know you'll always be in my thoughts and heart to guide me, and I will never forget you, and will always love you. There are not enough words in this world to describe the amazing person you are, and many hearts have been touched by you, and your spirit and legacy will live on in all of us. I love you so much, Dad. Till we meet again.
Paul, Mark's brother. We're all here today, lost someone very dear to us. Thank you for the love and support to this family, from all of you. I am humbled and very grateful for your kindness. Mark and I were very close, and our relationship was most special, and always an education. Mark's energy was felt by all he came into contact with. It was a wonderful whirlwind for me as Mark and I navigated our way through to adulthood together. Mark always looked out for me, even though I was the older brother. And I remember Mark standing up for me many times. He was an honorable man, and I will miss Mark's company and his meaningful conversations. Over the last few years, when I came to visit, Mark and I would often stay up all night and have long chats in the barn with all his little animals around us. We would then proceed with much glee to mix up all those animals in their houses. We would find it most satisfying to think about the confusion in the morning when the staff arrived for work, to find a bunny amongst the chickens or a duck in with the guinea pigs. Mark had an incredible sense of humor. But he wasn't only that, he was much more. Mark was my hero, a good husband and father, a good provider, a good brother, a good son, and a good friend. Rest in peace, brother.
Michael, and I'm going to be reading for Mark's friend, Grant Sykes. Knowing Mark for many years, I believe he would want us to be happy and celebrate his life. So I'd like to celebrate Mark and share what his life meant to me. I met Mark through a long-time childhood friend. Shortly after we were introduced, we became fast friends. Beers at Dunkley Square, stop-bys to fill up our inkjet printers, saving us money on buying new cartridges, braais, bonfires, and lots of Black Label beers and laughs. Our friendship could not be taken for granted, and never was. Most people are lucky to have even 5 people they can count in one hand as an unconditional friend. Mark was my number one and will never be replaced. I was lucky to have spent time with Mark during life's many ups and downs, his and mine. We supported each other through breakups and frustrations, and in happier times of marriage and children. I remember when he first introduced me to Jo. I knew from the first time I met her, this was Mark's soulmate. You know when you see a couple and they just look right together? This was Mark and Jo. I witnessed Mark as the happiest man in the world at their wedding, and shared his joy when Jo became pregnant with Jamie. Our wives were pregnant together, and we had our daughter Jessie only 6 months after Jamie was born. I know Mark loved Jo and Jamie more than life itself. I know how much he loved Wade and Amy, and embraced them as their father from day one. Mark was a loving son, always there for his parents, Terry and Joy, and for his brother that he spoke of often and loved so much. He was content and genuinely happy in his life, thanks to such a beautiful family. He and Jo worked so hard to create a beautiful home for everyone. At times, the vision was lost on me, starting from a tiny, one-bedroom, shabby farmhouse. But Mark and Jo had a dream. They worked hard, eventually creating a beautiful homestead for the entire family to enjoy. The fact that Mark chose a business to delight children says a lot about him. He would truly light up talking about the happiness the mobile petting zoo brought to children's birthday parties. You can't speak of Mark without saying what a giant of a guy he was. Giant in stature, spirit, and disposition. He was fun and humble, but strong, honest, and forthright. I still remember Mark coming to our house and rearranging the furniture during his visits to be more comfortable. Then us putting it right back when he left. We always had a laugh about that, but we didn't mind because that was Mark. It is really hard to summarize in words how truly special my best friend Mark was, and always will be. I always knew I could count on him. I missed Mark from afar when our lives went in different directions with my move to the States. But I always knew when I'd see him again, things would pick up right where they left off. Taken from us far too soon, I know that Mark enjoyed his life and lived a good one to the absolute fullest. The world has lost a hero, our hero, but his memory will always be emblazoned in our hearts. I will miss you every day. Cheers, Mark.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy, one of Mark's daughters, and today I'll be speaking on behalf of Rowan, who is my mum's brother, who's in the States right now and couldn't be here. So as most of you know, Rowan's quite the writer and the speaker, so hopefully I can do his message justice. What can you say about a man who made your whole family happy for 16 years and then gave his life to save theirs? I think Wade already said it best this week. Your spirit and legacy will live on in all of us. but I'd like to share a few other thoughts about this man who I admired and loved so much. Mark experienced even more joy and happiness than the luckiest people enjoy, because the great happiness he took found him totally by surprise. He was so humble in his expectations from life. He had no sense of entitlement whatsoever, and, except for his good sunglasses, he didn't have any need for expensive things either. Even though he made it his job to make kids happy, I think it never occurred to his humble self that he could possibly be the beneficiary of total happiness and total love. Then, slowly and fully, it dawned on him. I tell you, I've never seen a happier man in my whole life than when I watched Mark dancing with Joe at 2 a.m. in someone else's hotel room in America in August. There were small issues that you'd think should have been a worry to him, like where were they going to sleep and where were they going next in America with their blank itinerary. But when I asked Mark about those problems, he said, "What you talking? No worries, bro." Joe and Mark had the best vacation I've ever witnessed in August, partly because of Mark's policy that they never do the same thing twice, and that they should always leave their schedule open for whenever adventure might take them next. Well, they sailed the Long Island Sound, they danced away their jet lag in New York, they canoed on a marsh, they powwowed with Native American chiefs, they watched a bald eagle catch a bigger fish than they had caught, they tracked a bear, they added magic to a wedding, they explored a battleship, they made friends left and right, and they brought immense joy to my daughter and my new American family. What a team. I mean, who else but Mark could even keep up with Joe? My favorite story was when they were going to stay with my wife Carmen's cousins, whom they had never met, and they drove to the house indicated on their GPS. Mark and Joe knocked on the door, hugged the people who opened it, and joyfully strolled inside. The people then said, who are you? It turned out they were at the wrong house. But no problem, they made friends even there, and were offered cookies, and Mark and Joe encouraged these folks to meet their own neighbors, who are his wife's cousins, at the correct address. Carmen's family and our Molly and our friends at the wedding flat out fell in love with Mark and Joe, and their hearts, like mine, are all directed here today and here this whole week. The happiness I saw from Mark with Joe this summer was matched by the happiness beaming from his blue eyes when I watched him playing with Jamie last year, or laughing with Wade, or talking with such pride about Amy's brave career to help those in need. It was like he discovered that his own heart was much bigger than he'd ever guessed. Another small example, when Graham, Lorraine, Brad and Gareth left the rental house they were staying at in the US to return to the UK, Mark stood by the sunflowers in the driveway, watching their car, and just started crying, to his own surprise. Joe teared up too, watching him. Mark was a good man when I first met him in about 2000, and he became an even better and happier man every year since. I've never seen anything like that. But above all, Mark was a man. I'm a year older than Mark, but I always felt slightly silly, like a slightly silly kid around him. It was almost as if he was from my dad's generation, where men solved problems on their own and never complained, and he'd climbed into that time machine. He was so comfortable in his own skin as a man that, even though he raised rabbits as part of his business, he always called them bunnies, and treated his animals more as furry friends than assets. When I was first getting to know him, I remember thinking, this guy is such a natural leader. He is so hard-working, so intelligent, so innovative, so ridiculously handsome. He could easily be rich or famous. Why isn't he more ambitious? I wondered. How foolish I was. Now I know he was simply beyond ambition. Because Mark Fagan lived better and died better than any man I ever heard of. You can't spend your time on earth any better than that. Mark could look you straight in the eye and hold that look. I remember unwisely challenging him to a wasabi eating contest at a sushi restaurant in Half Bay. I swear his eyes turned to bright blue laser beams and he chuckled without flinching while my head steamed and I fell off a chair. Most of the time when he laughed, he'd cock his head backwards and cackle, but those blue eyes wouldn't shift. But sometimes when someone like Amy or Giuliano or Grant or Jamie would do something truly daft, that gaze would break and he'd wipe tears from eyes suddenly red. If you were stranded on an island with one other person, Mark was the person you'd want. In fact, if you were stranded in the middle of the city, you'd choose him too. If you had to share a car on a road trip, Mark was the guy you wanted in the passenger seat. Not that he'd let you drive, but you definitely want him choosing the music and the conversation. Like Joanne, he wanted to talk about things that were real, things that mattered, not theory or gossip. And if you wanted to show off, well, you just want about anyone besides Mark with you. Mark has totally transformed my idea of what it means to be a man. I'm so sorry I can't be there today, but Mark taught me great lessons about what it means to be a dad too. The dedication he had to Jamie, Amy, and Wade, and I think I'm honoring that by looking after my little daughter this weekend in the US, as she works through a small crisis that is big for her. But I'll go straight from Molly to the airport and I'll be there to hug you all this week. In fact, on the day Molly was born in 2012, Mark sent me the following bit of parenting advice. You have over-prepared as much as you can. All you can do now is hold on tight and go with the flow. Haha. Love and stuff, Mark. But it remains good advice for us today. First, let us hold on tight and then go with the flow. Mark will help us find the current in the river ahead of us, and here's how. On the day Mark passed, Carmen and I decided to go watch the Johnny Clegg concert on his final tour as he battles cancer. The hit of the night was when Johnny sang, I'm Searching for the Spirit of the Great Heart. Last month, this song was the first dance song at our wedding, and Mark and Joe whirled on the dance floor, as they always did, and brought the place to its feet. And I tell you, Mark's blue eyes were all around us this week as we sang along to these words. I'm searching for the spirit of the great heart, to hold and stand me by. I'm searching for the spirit of the great heart. I see the fire in your eyes. And your life is a story like the wind. Your life is a story like the wind. At the wedding, Mark gave Joe a final twirl as that same song finished with a Zulu prayer, Sala Mtliyizo, which means my heart remains behind. Friends, I believe our search is over. Mark would probably have thought this a bit cheesy, and God knows he always thought me to be a little over the top, and he loved me for it anyway. He'd laugh and say, what you talking? But I believe that Mark will forever be the spirit of the great heart for all of us, and that his memory and the tools for happiness and courage he gave us will see us through, just like Wade said. And Jamie will always know that she had the best dad ever, and that he was totally proud. And that he was totally proud of her, and always will be. We love you, Jay. And Amy and Wade will always be shining avatars with the values and the joy he taught them. And Terry and Joy will always know they raised a man who was the best of his generation. And Jo will always know that she found and she polished the blue diamond who brightened all our lives and saved our whole family. I am devastated and heartbroken for all of you. As long as I live, I will never be as grateful to anyone as I am to my lion of a brother-in-law today. So long, Marky.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kayla, and I'm going to read a message about Mark written by Lisa Fulmore, who's a teacher at a primary school in Plumstead, where Mark visited yearly with his Zoo to You. My school has a large number of children from poorer households who have never learnt how to care for or handle animals. Farmer Mark visited every year for the last 4 years and had such an incredible impact on so many of my grade 3s, some of whom had never experienced holding an animal before. Year in and year out, I was blown away by the change in these children who, in less than an hour, went from petrified and hiding in a corner to cuddling 2 to 3 animals at a time and grinning from ear to ear, because Mark had shown them exactly how wonderful animals can be. I have clear memories of one of my autistic children sitting calmly cuddling a rabbit under Mark's guidance. This was the first time I had seen this child so calm, happy, and at peace. Mark was gentle, loving, and kind, and my children always asked if he could return. They always wanted to write him letters about how wonderful their experience was with him, and he always cherished them as if they were gold. It was a pleasure to have Mark visit us every year. And that was something that we as teachers always look forward to, as Mark would happily allow us to come and sit with the animals at break times. I wanted you to know this. Every year that I saw Mark, he spoke to me about his family. I was virtually a stranger to him, yet he was so proud of you all that he constantly spoke lovingly of all of you in random conversation wherever he could. Even though this annual interaction was the only time I saw him, I could tell he was an incredible man, and his goodness and light shone through in all that he did.
I think now would be a good time to ask if anybody else would like to come up and just say something, as I said, something small, maybe something funny. Would be good. I know Mark has got so many friends that are here, and I would like to open this up when Joan especially wanted to do this. Don't be intimidated, we've all prepared. So if anyone would like to come and say something short and sweet, I really would like you to come up and do that. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out for my son, and I can't really say much because I'm so broken. We all are, and I just want to say to Mark, I love you so much, my child. I'll never forget you. But thank you all for your kindness. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Mark Wood. I've known Marky also for many, many years. And Joanne, I would like to say this to you. Before Marky met you, he was going in a downward spiral into a destructive mode. And I could see this with Marky because Marky used to visit me literally daily. And he would come to me and let off everything that's on his chest on how his life was just being destroyed. He lost his previous girlfriend who also committed suicide. And this really affected him badly. And he started going down and down. And, you know, I had to take that man, that big man with such a big heart, and bring him out of that desolation. And the night we brought him to the dance studio to meet you, it took a lot of courage and a lot of effort to bring him to come and meet you. And I am so happy and so glad that he came with us that night. And, you know, Marky was always jovial, always happy, and I'm sure everybody here that knows him, that he's always been a positive person. And I would just like to say this to you, Jan, that was the best day of his entire life, because he came to me after and said, Mark, I found my soulmate. Thank you. And Joanne, I want to thank you. Joy, I want to thank you. Terry, I want to thank you. Paul, I want to thank you. And the rest of the family for being there for the best man that I have ever known in my life. And I know Mark loved you without a doubt, without any hesitation. He would have done that more than once. And he is that type of person. He will give his life for anybody. And he's not a selfish man at all. And Joanne, you were the best thing that ever happened to this man. And he loved you guys so dearly. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andre Lightfoot, and I am a member of the Sunny Nail Bowling Club, which Joanne also supports. Just on, as regards to Joanne, our deepest sympathy. We wish you all the best. We will stand by you in all ways. Just remember, never forget that smile when you come and join us, because that is the most important thing that you do, the smile of life. Our deepest sympathy. What's spoken about your husband is as good as it can be. All the strength, and we'll be there for you. And go for it up.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gusto. I know Mark through Joanne, because Joanne, she used to be my boss. The first time I saw Mark, he said to me, I'll take you to waterfront to play with the rabbit. I said, what the rabbit is gonna do with my stress? Because heaven doesn't send me stock. I need stock. Rabbit is gonna play you cool. Now I took this rabbit, I put it in my arm. I said, no, Mark, you must be kidding. So like, I just want to say, as far as I know Joanne and Mark, to me, like, I'm still young, vibrant, but that was a wonderful couple I ever met, regardless of color. Because when I look at Mark, he always, like, remember me, he said, Sibu, like other day, I think it was 2009, when we come to his farm here for staff party. I said, why are you gonna sit with goats now? Because my kraal is there in Eastern Cape. He said, no, I sit with the kraal, with the goats. I like to say, Joanne and Jamie, and all the kids, I see Wade is the grown up, he's got a pulp pass now. I like to say, Joe, it all happens, no matter what race you are, it happens. Because all of us, we survive, but we thank God every day. Because every day, you must thank God. Because, like, I'll just say a simple thing. On Thursday, when Veronica phoned me, said, did you hear about Mike? I said, what happened? I said, Veronica, I just explained the worst nightmare of my life. When the guy threw the gun, he said, give me the phone. I said, hey, bro, come take this phone. So, like, guys, we're living in the society which is corrupt. Government is corrupt, everything is corrupt. So, like, we have to embrace ourselves. So we have to live with one another. So I thank you, Joe, for giving me this opportunity to know you and Mark, and Jamie, and the family. Wait, I see you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I'm going to really try and hold this together. Obviously, Mark, Wayne, I'm sure Marseille, Mark Kaiser, all of the guys that we used to travel together for all the years. Obviously, I'm glad Mark brought up that story about the evening that you obviously make, because Mark himself, okay, he used to like his rock and roll and all that type of music, and obviously I was doing the whole mumbo jumbo, or everybody knew me as the Mambo King. But talking on that evening, what Mark mentioned, Mark, I said, come Mark, we're going here, we're going to the dance studio, we're going to do Latin American dancing, and mambo and salsa and cha-cha. No, Jules, I'm not coming to do all this. No, that's not for me. That's not my style of music. Well, eventually afterwards, me and Mark decided, no, come, Mark, we're not leaving you behind now. You're coming to join us here at the dance studio, Brasilia Dance Studio. Well, eventually, it took us about 45 minutes to sort of convince him, and eventually then he arrived. And next thing, we basically, afterwards, I don't know sort of what was happening. I was obviously doing my own Latin American dancing. Most of the people said, yeah, like as a brother and that, Mark himself. I could pick up the phone, I'll say, Mark, listen, I'm stuck here, I've run out of a bit of cash, can you help me? Hey, that evening, Don't worry, Jules. I'll be there with you. Listen, I'm going to be finished here about 5 o'clock, 5:15. I can pop around your house and I can drop off some cash for you. And then afterwards I say, Mark, here's your 300. No, keep the money, Juliana. Because if you give me the money, then I've got to wait another 6 months to see you. So I'll have to keep the money. When you see me again, then basically you can give me the money back.
6 months later.
So that was our policy, because whenever Mark borrowed me money, he never wanted back. He said, no, come on. That's my excuse to see me. Well, I can say one thing about Mark, I loved him very much. We were very close. We obviously did a lot together. We had lots of laughs, karaoke evenings, trivial pursuit in 30 seconds, even though we lost to Rowan and oh yeah, I'll tell you that story because this is quite a laugh. Now, me and Mark and Joe is with Rowan and his girlfriend. Now, he's working in the Chicago Tribune. She's working in the New York Times as journalist. So we decide that evening now we're going to play 30 seconds. Well, eventually the three of us had to join up in a team between those two boffins. We lost completely because they were just rattling everything off. That, oh yeah, that's Trafalgar Square, and this one and that one and that. And we like, and Mark's like, but yeah, and it's like, you're a rabbit. Nobody, no, you see it over there. Binoculars. Well, we lost completely. But I feel very sorry about your loss and for the whole family, obviously, which I know for many years. It's going to be very hard to not pick up the phone. I was expecting to see him at my birthday party now in the next 2 weeks. But you know where I am. Just get hold of me.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Isaac Squad. This is a former colleague. I met Mark, I think 1996. We used to work together at a place in Hart Bay. A place called, it was a village farm store. It was a vegetable place. I met a guy, first time I worked with someone, a white guy. Said I told him. He never ever did any discrimination on me. He was a nice, good guy I ever met. We worked together 1996 and 1998. I think we only worked together for 1 or 2 years, and then he left the company. We were somewhere here in Cape Town, here. I also met him another day in Kempsway. And 2 years later, he came back to me and he said, Isaac, I know you, my friend, very well. It's not the best place for you to work. I got a job for you. And then he brought me from that farm stall. He introduced me to Joanne, his husband, and Mr. Rodney, also Joanne's cousin. He took me into his house in Hart Bay, and then we discussed everything together. We agreed everything. They were happy with me, the way I am. They say I'm a nice guy, calm guy, same as Mark. Yes. And then from there, I worked for the company for Rodney, together with Joanne as my manager, for 14 years. Only left the company this year, I think May this year. I worked for 14 years at that company. Before I left that company, the first person I let him know that I'm leaving the company was Mark. I sent an SMS to Mark. I said, Mark, well done, my man. Everything you've done for me, you changed my life. You saved my family. Everything you've done for me, I say thank you very much for what you've done for me, Mark. Before I say to my boss, Joanne and Rodney, I just said, Mark, thanks very much for what you've done for me. Really, I'm not a man of a long speech, but I'd like to thank, to pay tribute to his life. He was like my brother to me, Mark. He done a lot for me, changed my life. I'm here today because of you. I'd like to say thank you to everybody, his family. I see his mother, met his mother for first time. His father, his brother. I'd like to say thank you to Jamie, everyone who's around. The guys, Jamie and Amy, all of you guys, I wish you all the best. Keep it up. The God gives, the God takes. Thank you very much.
Guys, I don't know where to start. I mean, it's going to be long. I've only got 2 minutes, so yeah, that's how it works. What can I say? I just want to say my deepest sympathies to the whole family. Joe, I didn't know you that long. You know, I knew Mark a long time. He was like a brother to me. I just want to, let me just make the people at least laugh a little bit, okay? We were the only, we were in the holiday industry many years ago, okay, in the timeshare. When I say that word, people cringe, but no, let's not go there, okay? And I remember meeting Marky and Giuliano and Fadi and, you know, all the crowd, Marseille and all the rest together. And we were almost like a family together. And we were the only holiday company where we had 2 accidents on one trip. Which is not normal. It's not even a DSTV program. It's real life, and that's what happened. And there was one occasion that I can tell you guys about very quickly. We went on a trip to Durban. And yes, we had a party because it was over a weekend. And obviously the next Monday we had a venue that we had to go to, which was almost like a church hall. That's where the problem started. Okay. When we got through, the guys forgot to, Giuliano and Marky and all of them they were the juniors and we were the seniors. They forgot to clean out the caravel. So they had all sorts of bottles and stuff like that that we had to now meet and we had to get through to the venue. So as they opened up the caravel door, there was just bottles that were falling out all the time. Now you've got conservative people sitting there and they're going, what's going on here? No, this is not good. I had to run in. The guys are all in a frazzle. I go and I say, listen, run to the women's and tannies and say, listen, do you want some tea or coffee? And do you want some juice? And everybody spoke maak ons hier. Sorry, that's what they said. And some of the old people are saying they ek wil nie hier wees nie. So I said to them, no, but it's not what you think. So it's already a bad impression that has been laid out. Okay. Long story short, we killed it that day. Everyone signed up. We gave them juice and tea and coffee and all the rest of it. That was just one of the times that Marky and I had, he was like a brother to me. Okay, and one thing I can say, he was a very spontaneous, flamboyant. He was a true person, a true leader, a true legend. And like I said, you know, his heart was bigger than anything else. He was always there. He was humble. He enjoyed helping people at all times, even though he didn't have much, he gave. And I will cherish that forever, as long as I live, until I meet you again. Rest in peace.
Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody. I haven't really prepared anything, but I've been thinking about it. I'd love to be funny. But, we're all people, all of us. Moments like this make that more real than most. Often you look at things and you get disappointed sometimes by people. They let you down. But I honestly, sincerely can't say that I ever had a real moment like that with Mark. Never really disappointed. Very flamboyant in his attitude towards life. Bit of a pioneering spirit. And he impressed. His name was Mark Fagan, and there was a joke once made that it should be Mark Flame again. He was always making fires and burning stuff. And I sort of played the game with him a bit. It was quite fun. And he did impress me. He really impressed me once. There was this huge fire, which I think I must have started, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, so we were fighting this fire, and here's Mark, and I'm looking at this because let's face it, gentlemen, we all like to be boys, and we always have this little measuring contest. Whether you admit it or not, we do that amongst each other sometimes. And here the oak is with this stick, and this fire is like, I mean, it's insane, really. It's like everywhere. And I'm looking at this oak, and the smoke is like, my eyes are burning, my throat's burning. I feel like a jackrabbit. I just want to run. And I look at Mark, and there that oak is there with that fire. And he's clapping that thing with that stick. I can't even lift the bloody thing because really I'm like thinking I just want to get the hell out of here. But there's Mark, and he's at it, and he's at it. I'm watching this oak. That was the one time he impressed me, because after we did all of this and we were talking, I sat with Mark and I said to him, "Hell, bro, how the hell do you do that? I can't do stuff like that." And then he impressed me again. He died well. He died well. And I don't think it was intention to hurt anybody. It wasn't his spirit. I think he was there to look after you, my dear, and your friends. I think it was instinctive for him. I think personally he must have just sounded like a bear, got in there hoping to scare the oaks away. And it didn't work out. He impressed me again. Because if I go, I hope to go half as admirably as that. And what he would have said, and I hear this ring in my ear all the time, is one of his favourite little things. You said something nice. I mean, what was that thing you said he always used to say? What's he talking? That was the Marky. The other thing was he would have said for himself now, wherever he is, he would say, "What's a boykie? It's my boykie." You know, he was always had that boykie. Always had that saying. So I think of that when I think of him. But he's not God. He shines through all of you. I see him in you. I see him in you, Joe. I see him in you. And you got this way. You've always been one of my favourite men, even when you were like, what, 5, 6? Don't know. But you got this, and he's proud of you. And you got the family, and respect, brother. Thanks, sir.
I don't know. Hi everybody. I may not have funny stories of family parties and jokes and things to say, but I had the privilege of teaching Jamie when she turned 5 at Lilliput Primary School with Auntie Tilly in the classroom with me. And to be here in your life after all these years is one true testament to your hell of a family. You are noticed, you're not alone, and we are here with you for this. Jamie was part of our family for a little while, when things were a bit up and down and health and everything, and she embraced us in her family, and she was part of ours. And just a true testament to your family to still be involved in your life at this stage. Your high school years from when you were 5, and we're just incredibly proud, and we are here for you. And have you had a look around? You are not alone. I think one phone call from you to anybody here and they will jump. So use it. It's a lifeline. Yes, you said. Yeah. Too emotional to talk, but we love you. And you will get through this. It's not easy. But everybody's here for you.
Hi guys, my name's Dylan. Just want to say sorry to you guys for the loss. And yeah, when the news came to me, it was probably one of the hardest things I've had to bear. I've lost a friend earlier in this year in January. He was a bit younger, but yeah, so it's difficult. So I've lost. I mean, Mark was just like, he was really a buddy to everyone, you know, and I knew him since I was like a little lighty, and I had a serious, I still do have a seriously competitive mind, and we always had local prize on the farm, and whenever Mark came, I knew that here's a guy that I can get on the pool table with me, and him and Joe, they were like the most
happiest like couple that I've ever seen, and he was really like a role model, and he still is, because he's still in my memory, and he always will be a role model that I will look up to, you know. And it just so happens that I have in my heart like the same thing with him, like just the passion with animals and a desire to. I really like look up to him, the way that he works with animals, with kids, because I know that there's such a need for kids, and that's something that I had when I was young, is to work with animals and just to find peace through that and acceptance, working around animals, and then to be able to move on to people, you know. And he really like just shared that passion, and I just want to give a tribute really to how great he was, and he was like always smiling, and that guy Mark, my friend, I really love him, and I'll always love him, and yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks guys. Very shortly we're just going to have a song played, and then we're going to close in prayer. But before I do that, Joe, I just wanted to say something personally to you. I'd love to say these are my own words, but I'll send this to you. I sent this to myself, and it's lovely. And in fact, it's for you. It's for Jamie. It's for Amy and Wade. It's for Paul, and especially Joy as well, and Terry. A loved one is a treasure of the heart, and losing a loved one is like losing a piece of yourself. But the love that Mark brought you did not leave, for the essence of the soul lingers. It cannot escape your heart, Joe, for it has been there forever. Cling to the memories of Mark and let them find their way to heal you. The love, the laughter, yeah, I remember Mark's laughter. The love, the laughter, the joy that you shared together will make you strong. You come to realize that your time together with Mark, no matter how long, it was meant to be. And you were blessed to have such a precious gift of love in your life. Keep your heart beating with the loving memories of Mark, and trust in your faith to guide you through. Know that though life moves on, the beauty of love stays behind to embrace you. Mark has left you that to hold in your heart forever. I'm just going to call up Wade to come and say a few words about this the music.
Yeah, everyone. We're just going to play a song. It's called Imarembe, named after the children's choir from Uganda. It was my mom's favorite song, and it means peace in the storm. All these children were orphans, and Mark and my mom went to go watch them, and they just fell in love with this song. So here it goes.
peace in the storm. You are my peace in the storm. Your praises again, for you have spoken, and you are my peace in the storm. You are my peace in the storm. You are my peace in the storm. Your peace like a river flow, but shelter my faith from all harm. When I cry, your two will answer my call. You are my peace in the storm. 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 Katonda waffe, Katonda waffe, Katonda tuwe mirembe. Katonda waffe, Katonda waffe, Katonda tuwe mirembe. Katonda waffe, Katonda waffe, Katonda tuwe mirembe.
Hey everybody. What a special afternoon, and I just thought it was appropriate to end the afternoon with a scripture. So I printed out one of my favorite pieces, and it's for the family mainly. See, I'm the old emotional one in the family.
Keep breath right.
Okay. Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So Lord, as we just want to say thank you for a wonderful afternoon, to hear stories of an amazing man, and to stand behind the family, Lord, and to support them. And we thank you that you are here, because where two or more gathered in your name, you are there in the midst. And you don't leave us or forsake us, you love us. You are the great shepherd. You are the one who knows each of the sheep. You know us by name. You know our hurts. You know exactly how the family are feeling. And Lord, you want to be with them and comfort them. We just pray that they would hear the shepherd's voice, and they would run to him every time they feel any sense of sadness, and they want to phone and Mark's not there. They want to ask a question and he's not there. We just pray that they would come to you and they would feel comforted. As we say goodbye, Lord, to a friend, a father, a brother, a son-in-law, a husband, Lord, we just want to commit him to you and commit the family to you, that they would walk through this with you by their side and hold on to all those beautiful memories that we've heard this afternoon. Amen. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Joe, just want to let you know there's snacks and drinks and so on, so please stay and I think share stories amongst ourselves and stay for some food and drink. Thank you.